Leon, this is a great question and I appreciate you asking it. And it does appear, based on the latest bill that passed the House, that that is the intent to increase HRA and rollover and HSA limits. Does it mean ICHRAs or self-funded plans are better or worse? I think it really just depends on the employer and what they're trying to accomplish. I think ICHRAs are really good for certain employers and not as good for others. At the end of the day, ICHRAs don't address what's the driving cost of rising health insurance premiums, which is what we're paying for claims. The individual marketplace doesn't do that. You have more creativity and flexibility in designing a plan and its structure in the ecosystem in a self-funded plan. Now, one of the things I've seen you posting about is the use of AI in being able to determine the best price for a provider. And I love that. But if I have an ICHRA, an individual policy, and I have an HRA, if I have, say, United Health, and the cash price using your algorithm or your AI is, I get a better price than the insurance does, it's not going to accumulate towards my deductible and out of pocket. That's where the HRA comes in, right? To help pay for those out-of-pocket items. But if I end up having to get something major done, everything that the employer and the employee has spent up to that point doesn't accumulate towards their deductible or out of pocket. And for those reasons, I like where you're headed with that in the ICHRA, and I think it could be a really cool solution. But I think what you're doing and what you're talking about is going to be really geared towards self-funded employers that want to design their own plans. And that's a tool that can be used to make sure employers and their employees are getting the best price for any service in any market. I love where you're headed with your program, and I think it's going to be a super useful tool. But to your question of which one is going to be better for one employer or the other, I think it really just depends on the philosophy of that employer. We're seeing more and more employers ask about ICHRAs. We're talking about it more and more. There's a lot of employers that want to get out of the group health insurance renewal game, and an ICHRA is one way to do that. But for certain employers that really want to address for the sustainability of their business and their cost, because, I mean, let's face it, the individual marketplace is going to continue to go up in price, and employer contributions towards the ICHRA are going to have to go up as well to maintain affordability. And so as employers are really trying to grapple with how do we design this in a way that controls the cost long-term, we strip out waste and abuse using AI pricing algorithms like what you're developing, I think are going to be a super useful tool and very powerful and impactful, but I don't know necessarily how it's going to tie into an ICHRA type plan